I hope all of you are fine. So let's start our today's discussion. In our previous classes, we basically learned about lecture number 1 and lecture number 2. Okay. So before we start lecture number 3, I would like to start. Discussion on case study. Okay. So case study is very important task for this course. You have to accomplish. Basically what you have to do, you have to give one presentation on this case study, or you have to submit an assignment on this case study. That's why you have to understand what is the format of case study, as because this one is very new to you. Okay, many of you maybe all of you do not have any idea about the case study. You do not have that much experience with the case study. That's why in today's class I'm going to discuss about case study. What is case study? What is the format of case study? How to solve case study? Okay, these are the things I'm going to discuss, as well as I'm going to give you an example that how it's look like. Okay, and how we can solve a case study. So let's start our today's discussion on case study. At first, I would like to share a slide with you. Let me know whether you can see my slide or not on your screen. So is this visible on your screen, my slides? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir.
I'm requesting all of you, please unmute your microphone. If it is not necessary, then mute your microphone. All right. So now you can see my slide here. Format of a case study. The title of this lecture is what? Format of a case study. So let's see what we have here. Basically, in today's session, we are going to learn about the definition of case study and the importance of case study, content of case study with an example. That means what we have inside the case study, what are the different parts we have inside the case study, and I'm going to give you an example. Then at last we have a class exercise. All right, so let's start. So at first I would like to know, do you have any idea, anyone? Do you guys have any idea about the case study? Do you know what is case study? Or did you ever heard this term, case study?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In general sense, what do you understand by this term, case study? Anyone?
Case study is the basic data collection before something implements from the reliable source.
All right. Okay. So basically, we are collecting some data, okay, about some specific phenomena. Okay. So, but what is the, importance of collecting data? Can anyone tell me why we need to collect data about that specific phenomena? Anyone?
Because by those type of data, it will be easy to take any further decision about that.
Very good. Okay, right. So we can encounter any problem, isn't it? We can take better decision. In future, we can use this one. Okay, that is the thing. All right. So now let me show you the formal definition here. You can see the definition here. A case study is an account of an activity, event, or problem that contains a real or hypothetical situation and includes the complexities you would encounter in the workplace. Okay, so in your workplace, in your day-to-day life, in our day-to-day life, we basically face different kinds of situation, different kinds of phenomena, different kinds of problem every time we are basically facing. Okay, and case study basically indicating those situation, study about those situation. Okay, basically we are familiar with the police case, isn't it? Okay, in our day-to-day life we basically very familiar with the police case. So basically what happened, if any criminal activity occur, then police basically investigate that activity, they basically investigate that case. Okay, and they basically try to find out what is the reason behind it. Okay, they basically trying to find out that reason. So same way, what we have to do, we have to study a specific problem, specific activity in our organization, and we have to find out what is the actual reason, okay, behind that problem, and we have to take decision. We have to give our expert opinion on that. So this is nothing but case study. Again, I'm repeating, a case study is an account of an activity, event, or problem that contains a real or hypothetical situation and includes the complexities you would encounter in the workplace. It might be real situation, or in some cases it might be hypothetical situation. Okay, that is the thing. So what is the main reason for conducting this case study? Okay, case studies are used to help you see how the complexities in real life influence decision. Okay, whatever the complexities you are facing inside the organization, how they are influencing your decision as a manager. Okay, so this is the definition of case study, you can see, and why we need this case study. Another advantage we have, if you read the case study, if you analyze the case study as a student, then what is your advantage? Like as a student, you are not going to get real life experience. That means you are not going to get chance to do work in an organization. So how you are going to gather experience? How you are going to gather experience as manager? It is not possible as a student. So what we can do, if we read number of case study, then you are going to get some idea what is basically happening inside the organization, what type of situation might arise inside the organization, and how to tackle them. Okay, like if you read case study on e-commerce, then when you will be work in the e-commerce after your graduation life, okay, you have some idea what type of situation might arise and what might be the possible solution of those problems. Okay, so you will get some experience. Okay, that is the thing by reading this case study. That's why as a student this is very important. As well as another advantage I can mention, as a student, if you read the case study, if you analyze the case study, it will help you to develop problem solving mind. It will develop your analytical skill. Okay, that is the thing. That's why we have to do case study. Now we have to understand what we have inside the case study. Inside any case study, these are the very common structure, common parts you are going to get inside any case study. What are the points we have here? Can anyone read it? What are the points we have here? Can anyone read it? Anyone?
Title, introduction, situation.
Title, then
Introduction.
Introduction.
Situation, discoveries,
Right.
question, recommendations.
Okay, thank you, Omar. So here we can see the first point we have title, second point we have introduction, third point we have situation, fourth point we have discovery. Okay, after that we have question, and at last we have to give some recommendation. So inside any case study you are going to get these 6 points. Okay, at the very beginning of your case study you are going to get a title of that case study. After that they are going to give an introduction about the case study. Then they are going to mention what situation they are facing, what is the actual problem. Okay, discovery, in the discovery part they are going to show you some statistical information. Okay, and at last they are going to ask you some question, and they are going to seek some recommendation from you. Okay, as an expert, you have to give your own recommendation. Okay, after analyzing, after understanding the problem, you have to give your recommendation, or you have to give the answer of these questions. So let's see this part elaborately with example. Okay. I'm mentioning it again. You have to understand this format to analyze the case study. This is very important. Okay. So now let's see the title. Okay. So as I already mentioned at the very beginning, you are going to get a title of your case study. So here an example given. What is the title given here? Procter and Gamble building a smarter supply chain. So this is the title of this case study. Is it clear to you? This is the title of this case study. Procter and Gamble building a smarter supply chain. By reading this case study, we are getting some concept, getting some idea what we have inside the case study. Like Procter and Gamble, this is an organization name. Procter and Gamble, this is the organization name. And what they are trying to do, they are trying to build a smarter supply chain. They have supply chain, but they are facing some problem with their supply chain. That's why they would like to develop more sophisticated supply chain for their organization, isn't it? From the title, we are going to get some idea what we have inside this case study. So that's why this is very important to read this title of this case study very carefully. All right. Any questions so far? Anyone?
So, tell me something about Procter.
Sorry.
So I didn't get this topic. Procter, sir.
Procter and Gamble, this is the organization name. This is nothing but an organization name. Procter
Okay.
maybe a person name, Gamble maybe another person name. Okay, by combining these two names, they are basically giving their organization name. Procter and Gamble. Is it clear to you? Here, this is nothing but the organization name. All right. All right. So let's see. We already have idea about the title part. Now let's see about the introduction part. In the introduction part, they are going to mention about the Procter and Gamble. Okay, who are they? What type of organization this one is? Okay, when they start their organization, what type of product they basically sell? This type of information you are going to get in the introduction part. Okay, let's see. Can you see the introduction part here? Okay, so here you can see founded in 1837. Founded in 1837. Procter and Gamble is the number one. This is the number one. You can see. Okay, US maker of household products. Okay, household products, and a recognized leader in the development, manufacturing, and making of a broad range of superior quality products. Okay, including Crest toothpaste, Tide laundry detergent, Ivory shop. Okay, that is the thing. So in the introduction part, we are getting some idea about Procter and Gamble. They basically started their organization in the year of 1837. This is a very old one. Okay, and they are basically US based organization, United States based organization. And what type of product they basically produce? Household product. Okay, like toothpaste, like detergent powder, like soap. Okay, this type of product they basically produce. Okay, and their product quality is very superior. Okay, their product quality is very superior. They basically produce very high quality product. That's why they are number one household product manufacturer. Okay, right. Then in the second point, they are mentioning P&G. P&G means the short form of Procter and Gamble. Procter and Gamble was voted the world's most admired company for 14 years by Fortune magazine. Okay, Fortune magazine, this is a very popular magazine. You maybe heard the name about this magazine. Okay, according to their analysis, this Procter and Gamble, this is the world's most admired company. People basically would like to use their product. Okay, they are the leading organization in their field. P&G has operation in over 70 countries. Okay, they are basically doing their business operation in 70 countries, and they have more than 1 lakh employee worldwide. Okay, they have more than 1 lakh employees worldwide. Okay, now you can idea about this organization, isn't it? In the introduction part, they mentioned about the Procter and Gamble, and now you have idea about this Procter and Gamble, what type of product they basically sell. Okay, in which country they basically, in which country, how many countries they are basically doing their business. Okay, how large their business operation. Okay, many things they basically mention inside the introduction part. So here we have some key point, like they started their organization in the year of 1837. They are US based organization. Second point, they produce household product. Okay, they basically produce very superior quality product. Okay, according to the Fortune magazine, okay, they are the world most admired company. They are doing their business in 70 countries all over the world, and they have more than 1 lakh employees. Now you have idea how large they are, isn't it? So in the introduction part, you are going to get some idea about the organization, right? So now we already discussed about the title. We already discussed about the introduction part. Now let's see what we have inside the situation part. In the situation part, basically you are going to get the actual problem. The problem facing by Procter and Gamble. Let's see what problem they are facing. Procter and Gamble, a world leader in consumer goods, sell nearly 300 brands in more than 160 countries. Okay, and it has sales of 40 billion in a year. Okay, at first they are giving some other information. They are basically producing 300 brands, nearly 300 brands. They are basically selling those brands in 160 countries, and yearly they are generating profit $40 billion in a year. They basically sell $40 billion in a year. Okay, this is the thing. Now Procter and Gamble P&G measures customer satisfaction at 2 levels. Customer satisfactions at 2 levels. Okay, that means by using their product, whether their customer satisfied or not, they measure this satisfaction. By measuring they basically measure their satisfaction by 2 levels. By measuring 2 levels. Okay, what are the levels? Which it calls 2 moments of truth. They basically call these 2 measurement. Okay, by using this term, moment of truth. Okay, what is the first moment of truth? First moment of truth occurs when consumer, okay, when consumer reach at the shelf and find that desired product is not available. Okay, so customer, they need the product and they would like to purchase the product from the retail company, but that product is not available in the shop. That means that product is out of stock. So what do you think? If the product is out of stock, then customer will be satisfied or not? Customer need a specific product. Customer went to the market to purchase that product, but somehow in the shop that product is out of stock. So what do you think? The customer will be satisfied or not? Can anyone tell me? Customer will be satisfied or dissatisfied?
Unsatisfied, sir.
Right. Okay. Customer will not be satisfied. All right. So this is a critical moment, because if the product is not available, the customer or the consumer usually move to buy a rival product. Suppose your customer need a toothpaste, for an example, a toothpaste. So this is a daily product we need. Okay, at his or her home. Okay, he basically running out that product, toothpaste, and from your shop that person would like to purchase your brand toothpaste, but your brand toothpaste is not available in the shop, then what the customer is going to do? Is he going to wait for a long time? No, he is going to purchase that product from another shop. He is going to use another brand instead of your brand. So you are basically losing your customer, and most importantly, you are giving your customer to your competitor. You are losing your customer and you are giving your customer to your rival company, your competitor. Okay, that is the thing. So this is the first critical situation they are basically facing. And second, moment of truth depends on buyer's satisfaction when consuming the product. When consuming the product, as Procter and Gamble produce very high quality product, very superior quality product, so they do not have any headache about the second one. When their consumer or their buyer use their product, purchase their product, ultimately they are going to satisfy, as the product quality is very superior. Okay, so now you have to understand this point. Procter and Gamble measure the customer satisfaction into two levels. First level is out of stock, whether the product is available in the shop or not. If it is not available, then customer will be dissatisfied. If the product is available in the market or shop, customer will be satisfied. And second level is after consuming the product, after using that product, customer is satisfied or not. Okay, as they're producing very superior quality product, so they do not have any problem or headache or any issue regarding the second one. They produce very superior quality product. But as you understand, they are basically doing their business operation over 160 countries. There is a very good chance of out of stock. There is a very good chance of out of stock. Okay, they are facing problem about the first one, not about the second one. Okay, so top managers in P&G begins to realize that companies' supply network need to be modified. Okay, top level management find out that there is lots of out of stock happening, okay, in their organization, okay, in different shop, in different parts of the world. So that's why they are thinking that if they able to develop, if they able to build a sophisticated supply chain management system, a modified supply chain management system, only then they will be able to reduce this problem out of stock. That's why they have to modify their existing supply chain system, supply chain network. Guys, ultimately, do you have any idea what is supply chain management system or what is supply chain network? Any idea, anyone? What is supply chain?
No, sir.
No idea, anyone? Supply chain?
No,
You have
sir.
to understand what is supply chain first. Otherwise, you will not be able to understand this case study. Supply chain means like inside the organization, we have different stakeholders. Inside the organization, we have different stakeholders. Like think about the raw material provider. Okay, then we have factory who basically produce finished product. Then we have wholesaler. Then we have retailer. Okay, and then we have the customer or the consumer. Okay, so again I'm mentioning raw material provider, factory or the manufacturer, then wholesaler, then retailer, then your customer or the consumer. Okay, so from the raw material provider basically provide the raw material to the manufacturer, to the factory. Then factory basically assemble or refine those product and produce the finished product. Then they supply those finished product to different wholesaler, okay, different parts of the world or different parts of the country. Then wholesaler supply that product to the retailer. Okay, retailer means who directly sell the product to the customer. Okay, then customer will be able to purchase the product from the retailer. Retailer means Kuchra Bikreta, retailer. Okay, all right. So this is the supply chain. This is the supply chain. Okay, so what is the main goal of your business? Ultimate goal of your business is what? To maximize the profit. if you want to maximize the profit, then all of your stakeholder, raw material provider, manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer, customer, all of them, you have to keep all of them in the same platform. Otherwise, you will not be able to maximize your performance. Okay, everything is okay, but in your supply chain, you have problem with the wholesaler. You have problem with the wholesaler. Then you will not be able to maximize your profit. Everything is okay. You have problem with your manufacturer. Then again, you will not be able to maximize the profit. Okay, that's why you need a sophisticated supply chain management so that you can keep all of them in the same platform. You can provide them whatever the information necessary to them. You can provide those information in a very quicker rate. Okay, that is the thing, and low cost definitely. So P&G, they are basically operating their business all over the world, more than 160 countries, and they have more than 1 lakh employees all over the world. So they need a very sophisticated information system to manage their business operation. Okay, right. So P&G decided that sophisticated demand chain management can be the key to maintain leading position. What they're thinking, if they want to maintain their leading position, then they need a sophisticated demand chain management. Okay, otherwise they will not be able to solve their out of stock problem. Okay, out of stock problem. So you guys understand what is out of stock problem? Out of stock problem means customer, they have demand about the problem, about the product. They have demand on the product. Okay, but when they are reaching in the shop, they are not getting the product. Okay, suppose in e-commerce website, you place an order, and after 1 day, the seller basically telling you that the product is out of stock. That product is not available at this moment. Okay, so this product is out of
Yes,
stock.
sir. Shortage of product.
Shortage of product, very good. Okay, shortage of product. Okay, the product you have demand, but not that product is available in the market. Okay, that is the thing, shortage of product. Okay, and what is the main problem of this shortage of product? Your customer, they are going to fulfill their demand from your rival company. From your rival company, you are losing your customer, and most threatening thing is that you are giving your customer to your competitor. You're giving your customer to your competitor or the rival company. Okay, all right. So this is your situation. So you understand. So far we discussed about title, we discussed about introduction, we discussed about the situation. Okay, right. Now let's see what about the discovery. So now in the discovery part, this Procter and Gamble, after analyzing their situation, they are going to give you some statistical information. Okay, let's see what we have. All right. So here at first they are mentioning what? This out of stock cost you 1 sale in 9. This is important one. Okay, 1 sale in 9. What does it mean? 1 sale in 9, out of stock cost you 1 sale in 9. What does it mean? Suppose if your customer place 9 orders, okay, in your shop, there is a chance 1 order might be out of stock. 1 sale in 9. Okay, suppose 9 customer came to your shop, you are going to provide them product, but in this case you are able to satisfy 8 customer, not 1 customer, because of out of stock. You will not be able to provide 1 customer his or her desired product. Okay, that is the thing. So this is the analysis done by the Procter and Gamble, and this is the outcome. They basically get out of stock cost you 1 sale in 9. Okay, right. Though the customer buys from the retailer and directly from the manufacturer cannot afford of shortage at the store or the shelf level. Okay, how we can solve this out of stock problem? How we can solve this out of stock problem? So easy solution is customer can directly purchase the product from the factory, isn't it? In the factory there is no shortage of product. In the factory you are going to manufacture the product, so there is no shortage of product over there. Okay, but there are some problem. What are the problem? If you tell that, okay, as a customer you have to purchase the product from my factory, what will happen? Is it possible to set the factory everywhere? It is not possible, isn't it? You can set your warehouse, you can set your shop all over the country. Okay, number of shop you can set up, but factory we cannot set up everywhere. Okay, and second problem, in the factory there is no huge space in its warehouse. There is a shortage of space in its warehouse. That's why what we are doing, after manufacturing the product, we are distributing those products to the wholesaler, isn't it? Think about the Coca-Cola company. Think about the Coca-Cola company. What they are doing, they are basically manufacturing this beverage, okay, and they are basically distributing the can or the bottle of this Coca-Cola to their wholesaler. Okay, if they tell us that you have to purchase the Coca-Cola from my factory, so it will not be a convenient way for as a customer, okay, for me. Okay, that is the thing. So this planning is actually impractical plan, okay, to purchase the product from the factory. This is not the good solution. Okay, so at a time of highly volatile demand, out of stock need to be monitored very closely. Okay, so Procter and Gamble, they basically what? They basically sell household product, daily household product. And can anyone tell me when we purchase this household product in the month? At the beginning of the month, at the middle of the month, or at the end of the month? Usually when we purchase, or when you purchase your daily product, okay, or monthly shop, isn't it? At the very beginning of the month, we basically purchase this product, isn't it? Okay, so that's why at the very beginning, the first week of the month, product demand is very high. Okay, at the very beginning of the month, the product of this, this type of product demand is very high. Toothpaste, then detergent powder, then soap, okay, or some other groceries. This product demand is very high at the very beginning of the month. That is called highly volatile demand. Okay, and specifically first week you have to monitor this out of stock issue very very closely. You have to, every time you have to monitor your stock, okay, whether you have available stock in your warehouse or not. Okay, that is the thing. Otherwise there will be a very good chance of out of stock. So P&G research has shown that retailers lose 11%, retailer, that means Kuchra Bikreta, retailers lose 11% of sales due to out of stock, and that same brand substitute win back 25% of those lost sales. Okay, substitute brand, okay, they are basically win back 25% of those lost sale. Okay, so you have to understand this point. That means retailer lose 11% of sale. That means if 100 customer came to their shop, they are going to satisfy 89 customer. 11 customer they are not going to satisfy. All right, okay, and out of this 11%, okay, out of this 11%, 25% fulfill their demand from their rival company, okay, that is the thing. Okay, out of this 11%, okay, like it might be, 25% means 25% of 11 is maybe 2 or 3, like that. Okay, like 3, might be 3 like that. Okay, 3. Okay, almost 3. Right. Okay. So suppose again, if I mention out of this 100%, they are basically going to satisfy 89. 11% not able to get their product from their shop. Okay, out of this 11 people, 3 or 4%, they basically 4%, almost 4%, they basically purchase their product from their rival company, from the rival company of Procter and Gamble. Okay, so these are the statistical information they are basically providing here. Okay, discovery. Okay, so we already have idea about the title, introduction, situation, discovery. Now let's see what we have in the question part. Now they're asking me a question. Okay, as expert, now I have to answer this question. What is the question? How Procter and Gamble develop a sophisticated demand chain management system? This is the question. Okay, as an expert, now I have to give answer to their question. So let's see what recommendation I can give as expert. Okay, I can give this recommendation like secure management support. Okay, simplify your applications. Okay, do not webifying your internal system. Then leverage the level of IT. Okay, these are the recommendation I'm giving as expert. Okay,
Sir,
please.
sir, what is webifying?
Webifying means publishing information in the website. Webifying means publishing information in the website. Okay, that is the thing. Webifying. All right.
Sir, leverage the value of IT means?
Leverage the value of IT means, I mean, increase the capability of your IT. You have to use more advanced hardware. You have to use advanced software. Okay, leverage. Okay, upgrade. Okay. All right.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, so now you have idea what we have inside the case study. Title, okay, introduction, situation, discovery, question, and recommendation. So do you have any problem to understand any point here? These are the 6 points. Usually you are going to find out inside any
no
case
problem,
study.
sir.
Any case study you are going to find out. Okay.
No problem, sir.
But now I would like to show you a real case study. Inside the case study, you are not going to get division like that. Title, introduction, situation, discovery, question, recommendation. Okay. They are going to give you a format like essay. They're going to give you a format like essay. To make you understand, I am basically separate this case study. But usually what happened, you're going to get a complete essay type format. Okay, and by reading that essay, you have to understand this is title, this is introduction. Okay, this is my situation, this is the discovery part. Okay, this is the question answer part, and I have to give this recommendation. You have to understand everything with your own. Okay, let me show you another example. I'd like to show you. I'm sharing another document with you. I'm sharing another document. Let me know whether you can see the document on your screen or not. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So here you can see an example I'm showing here. All right. You can see here. So what is the title of this case study? Can anyone read it?
The mobile pocket office.
Right. Okay. Very
So
good.
the mobile office.
Pocket, the mobile pocket office. Okay. So this is the title of this case study. And what you are understanding by reading this title, what concept you are getting, what might we have, what
Online
might
office.
have, please.
Online office.
Online office, or basically we can manage our office by using the mobile
Mobile
device.
phone.
Isn't it? Mobile phone. All right, and we can keep
Yes.
that mobile phone in our pocket. That's why they did. That's why they're telling what the mobile pocket office. You understand? Okay. So we have this concept here. Okay. So here at the very beginning, they're going to give you some introduction. Okay. Here. Okay. You're getting some introduction here. Okay. Then you are going to get some situation. What is basically happening all over the world? Okay. Nowadays, how basically different company, they are basically managing their organization through mobile device, how manager basically managing the organization through the mobile device. Okay, everything basically given. Okay, you are going to get, and as well as you are going to get number of statistical information. Okay, and in this way you will get the case study, and you see there is no separate division for introduction, for situation, for discovery. Okay, right. And here you can see the question answer session. Okay, case study, question. Okay, after reading the case study, you have to give the answer of this question. Okay, what do you understand from this? After analyzing this case study, what is your find out? On the basis of that, you have to answer this question. Okay, all right. This is the question answer session, and you have to give the recommendation on the basis of this question. All right. So some tips I would like to give you regarding this case study. That is when you read the case study, what you have to do? You have to read the case study not only for once. You have to read the case study several times. You have to read the case study several times, as because case study, the language of the case study is not, that much simple. Okay, you have to understand the inner meaning. Okay, or the very clear idea. To get the very clear idea, you have to read the case study over and over. Okay, again and again, so that you can understand the inner meaning of the case study. All right. Suppose for an example, in our slide, we basically saw an example. In that example, many things I basically explained. If you just read that points only once, you will not be able to understand those points. Okay, as I explained those points, that's why you easily understand those points. But if you read with your own those points for the once, then you will not be able to understand at the very first time. You have to read the case study again and again. So as a fresher about this case study, what you have to do, you have to read the case study maybe 4 or 5 times. Then you will be able to understand what is the main message they are going to give you. Okay, this is the first point. Read the case study again and again. Second point I would like to mention, you saw that when I go through the case study, when I read the case study, the example given in the slide, I basically mark some important points. I basically mark down some important points. Let me share my slide again. I basically mark some important points. Okay, can you see my slide again? Can you guys see the slide now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, and can you see the red marking portion? Okay, whatever the important points I have, I basically mark it down, isn't it? Can you see that?
Yes,
The red
sir.
marking. Okay. So what you can do, you can mark it like that, you can underline that, or you can highlight that, or you can take note. Okay, you can take note. All right. So when you are going to give the answer of the question, then it is going to help you. Is that okay? This is the second point I would like to mention. And the third point, okay, in the third point, I would like to mention that before read the case study, okay, before go through the body part of the case study, it's better to read the questions. Okay, again, I'm sharing my PDF file, okay, where you can get the case study. Before read this body part, what you should do? You should read the
question.
questions, right? If you read the questions, then you already have some idea what answer I need to find out by reading this case study. Okay, so the first question, can you read it? What kinds of applications are described here? If you read this question and if you have this question in your mind, then when you read it down, when you read the whole case study, you can mark it, you can take some note, isn't it? Okay, so what business functions do they support? You can, when you read, if you have this question in your mind, then you're trying to find out the answer in the case study, isn't it? Okay, how do they improve operational efficiency and decision making? Okay, so by reading the case study, by understanding the inner meaning very clearly, you can give the answer like that. That's why I'm telling that read the question first, then read the body part of your case study. Am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So these 3 points you should keep in your mind to perform better in your case study. So first point I'm mentioning again, read the case study again and again to understand the meaning very clearly. Second point, what? When you read it, take some note, underline some important keywords or highlight some important keywords. Third point I would like to mention, at first read the question, then read the body part of your case study. All right. And if you want to give any expert opinion, then you have to read the whole chapter. After that, you can give the answer about that case study. All right. Okay. So far, any question do you have regarding the case study?
Sir,
So
এখানে
far,
আমাদের
Sir, no
main-
question, sir.
please. Hi,
sir,
what
এখানে
is the
আমাদের
question?
আমাদের মেইন ইন্টেনশন কি স্যার, যা কোশ্চেন গুলো আনসার বের করা, এটাই তো
Right. Right. Okay. You have to understand the case study and you have to give the answer of the questions. Okay. Or in some cases, they might ask you that what is your
Summarize the
opinion?
thing.
Right. Summarize the case study. Or what is your opinion about the case study? All right. They
Yes,
might
sir.
ask you the summarization. They might ask you for your expert opinion. All right.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have one question, sir.
Please.
Sir, in final or midterm exam, same type of question there.
From the case study, you might get some question. Okay. I might give you the case study and I might ask you the answer. You have to write down the answer. After reading the case study, you have to give the answer. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. And as well as on the case study, you might need to give like PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Or you might need to give, you might need to submit the answer of the case study as assignment as well. Okay. So in this virtual class, case studies are very important. Okay. According to the guideline of UGC, we have to take the examination like case study. Okay. Or analytical question we have to say. Okay. So that's why this case study is very important. That's why I'm basically giving much more emphasis on this case study. Okay. Okay. Now again, I'm sharing my slide with you. So is this slide visible to you on
Yes,
your
sir.
screen? Can you read it here? Okay. So now I'm giving you 3 minutes, okay, 3 to 4 minutes to read the case study. Okay. And after that, okay, you have to give your expert opinion. Okay. So your time started. Please read the case study with your own. Okay. After 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to ask you question from this case study. So read the case study, please. All of you, please read this case study.
Got it, sir.
Okay, done. All right. So now can anyone give your valuable suggestion to help this HR manager?
স্যার বাংলাতে বলি স্যার।
No. Bangla is not allowed. You have to speak in English, please. All of you can
And-
speak in English. Okay.
Okay,
please.
okay. Then they should take decisions then
Hmm.
that and in office time 9 a.m. they can offer office time at 8:30,
Right.
and when employee entered, uh, they will look at the time, and when they leave the office, they can leave their office regarding this late. If anyone late, they will
Stay more.
stay more.
Okay, right.
They if maybe you understand.
Okay, okay. So you are basically proposing that what? So like, so we can basically change the office time, isn't it?
Yes,
We can
sir.
make it 30 minutes earlier, so that automatically, if someone comes 30 minutes late, automatically it will be adjustable. Okay. Or
Sir, but there is a problem in this solution, sir.
there is a problem. What is the problem here?
So the problem is in first day when they will know that it is the office authorities try to show 30 minutes earlier time, but it's exactly 9.
Right.
Then next day they will again do the same thing, sir.
Right, right. So this is the here we have a problem, isn't it? So
Yes,
and another problem we have, like inside the organization, there are some distributed work we have. Like to perform the specific task, you need your whole team. Okay, if one member of your team is absent, then you will not be able to perform that task. All of your employee come at 8:30, but one member of your team come at 9. On that time, you have to, all of them have to wait for 30 minutes, isn't it? So there is a problem here. And another solution given by you guys, that is what, if someone come late, okay,
They
that
will
person will stay
late.
that much time, okay, more after the office time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that is the thing. But still, here we have also this might be on another solution. Okay, but here we have another problem, that is
So
you have
team
to
manage,
open
team
your
manage.
office for a long time. Okay, again, if they need to perform some teamwork, then they will not be able to perform that teamwork, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
Sir,
There are
can
some
I say
dependency.
something?
Please, please.
Sir, I want to say something.
Sir,
Please, one by
Hello.
one. Please.
Sir, I think the problem is their mentality. Sir, the employee who are working in the organization, they think that they are doing their job only 9 to 5. But if the authority works for changing their mentality, like they are not working there, they are owner of this company. If the authority somehow change their mentality, I think that will works for them.
Okay, very good. Okay, this might be a very good solution. Like due to monotony. Okay, due to monotony, they might not interested about their work. Okay, so company might arrange some interesting thing. Okay, for them, so that employee come earlier in the office. Okay, it might be a solution. Next one, please.
Sir, sir.
Carry on. I can hear you, Asad.
Yes, sir. Sir, I think we can encourage them by letting know that why they need to come at the actual time in the office, like their responsibility and what is the outcome. These are the things.
All right.
Yes, sir. And when they will understand that the coming at the actual time in office is beneficial, on that time they will come in the actual time.
Okay, all right. That means you'd like to motivate them, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
Sir,
please carry on.
sir, we can arrange a contract like if you continue like 1 month like in punctuality, then you might be lose your job.
Okay.
So
Lady boss are very much strict. Okay, we can understand.
Maybe
You
sir.
are going to fire your employee from the office. Okay, all right. Okay, carry on.
Sir, parallel to sir, the sir mindly sir also give some sir, like all of the measure he have taken is like sir the punishments or late mark salary. So we something as sir rewards.
Okay, right. Okay, we can give some reward them. Okay, right. Okay, we can give them some bonus. Okay, right. All right. Okay, any other solution do you have? Do you guys have? You would like to propose?
Sir, provide any vehicle, company vehicle that company has to show them that company are very much interactive with their client, with their employees, that we are providing you a secured vehicle service. So please you come on time office.
Okay, very good. So that means company can provide them vehicle if they do not have any economic issue. Okay, they can provide vehicle, or they can provide, even they can provide breakfast, isn't it? Okay, if they arrange breakfast, then many employees, I mean, might come earlier in the office to have their breakfast in the office. Okay, or they might arrange what like cotton, okay, staff cotton. Okay, if it is, I mean, if they able to, I mean, afford that one. Okay, that is the thing. Right, so this type of solution they might basically take. So you guys see many people basically giving many opinion, I mean different opinion. What happened in this case study, there is no right or wrong answer. Okay, some solution might be very good, some solution might be not that much good. Okay, but there is no wrong answer in this case study. Okay, that is the thing. So now we have some idea what is case study and how to solve the case study. Okay, and we already did some class exercises. Okay, that is the thing. Now I would like to show you. Okay, so we have only 3 minutes left. I would like to request, please give your ID. Okay, all of you, please give your ID in the chat option. And parallelly, I would like to show you another document. This is also very important for you to understand this case study. Can you see the Word file on your screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is actually what rubric. Okay, rubric for your case study. That means how I am going to evaluate your performance on your case study. Okay, how I am going to evaluate your performance on case study. So I am going to performance, if I take any presentation on the case study, then these are the criteria. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5. Okay, right, 5 criteria I basically set here. According to this criteria, I'm going to evaluate your performance. Okay, if I take a presentation. Okay, and how you are going to get I mean, when you are going to get 1 point in this criteria, when you are going to get 2 points in this criteria, when you are going to get 3 points in this criteria, or when you get full point, that means 4 points in this criteria. Okay, so every things basically I mentioned detail in this rubric. So if you read this rubric, then you are going to understand how I'm going to evaluate your performance. Okay, so I'm going to upload these slides, my slide on this case study, this rubric and other materials, okay, on my Google Classroom. So all of you, please go through my Google Classroom. Okay, go to my Google Classroom to download this document. All right, so this is the rubric. Okay, by reading this rubric, you are going to understand how I'm going to evaluate your performance. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay.
Yes, sir.
For an example, if I give an example, then it will be more clear to you. Like this, like discussion part. Think about the discussion part. Okay. Team is prepared to facilitate discussion and is respective to feedback. Okay. Sorry. Receptive to feedback. So if the level is little or no discussion or conclusion in your discussion, there is no conclusion, then you are going to get only 1 point. Okay, if you discuss everything in a proper manner, if you draw conclusion in a proper manner, if you highlight the key point, on that time you are going to get full mark, that means 4 points on this discussion part. So in this way, all the points please go through with your own, then you are going to understand what I am trying to say here, this rubric. Okay, all right. So I think that's all about our today's class. If you do not have any question, okay. So thank you for attending my class. So see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 2 hours class, and in tomorrow's class we are going to start our 3rd lecture. Okay, that is the thing. So thank you everyone for joining my class. Okay.
Sir,
Thank you, sir. Assalamu alaikum.
Any question?
Sir, can you upload the lecture 2 updated slide?
Okay, right. Okay, I updated that one little bit, so I'm going to upload the updated one. Okay, within today you're going to get every material, every updated material in my Google Classroom. All right.
Okay, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other issue?
No, sir.
I think
No,
not.
sir. Allah
so thank you everyone. Have a nice day.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Walaikum assalam.